Okay, this is what I wanted to throw up here and come back to.
That want you to drop every bad habit only to leave you once you do it. So why do they want you to drop every bad habit? Because you're a utility to her survival. So it's not that video games and sitting there watching the football game is a turnoff. It's a turnoff because she looks at you as a utility and she goes, you could be spending this time better serving me by figuring out how to make more money.
So there you go. Notice that everything comes back to money. Wealth enforces will. So when people say, oh yeah, we have a 50-50% or 50-50 relationship. No, you don't. Because if that woman is making more, if she's on OnlyFans and you're on Plumber Fans, and all you do is, so I'm not taking that. Plumbers actually do a pretty good job. But let's just say you have a low paying job and she's on OnlyFans. You're not getting her out of that high paying gig. As I said before, it's the pretty woman conundrum, right? Like you want to be Richard Gere, but you have to be this rich multi-gajillionaire industrialist. What's an industrialist? To get her out of that high-paying gig, to save her from herself. And even then, you won't save her from herself because even if you had more money than she does on OnlyFans, let's say you could make $10 million off of something real easy to do. Lily Phillips can go suck 100 and make $10 million inside of 24 hours. What guy do you know that can do that on average? What guy do you know that in 24 hours can make $10 million? Do we know anyone? Even Justin Waller cannot make, and he makes a good chunk of change, cannot make $10 million in 24 hours. What dude do we know that could make $10 million in 24 hours? Maybe Bill Gates, maybe Elon Musk, maybe guys you wouldn't want to fuck. Jeff Bezos. Maybe he makes $10 million in 24 hours. Maybe. Like what sports star, what athlete makes $10 million in 24 hours? None. I remember when Colin Kaepernick got his first deal, it was $10 million bucks. Oh, yeah. $10 million for that year, for that one season, and never played. Yeah. What guy do you know that can make $10 million in 24 hours? Probably not many. They
don't want you to have your own pleasure. It's all about them. They only care about themselves. This is their natural survival instinct, is to fully have their own self-preservation and their own survival instincts, because all they care about is not only themselves, but the survival of their future children. She does not give a shit about you. She doesn't want you to have pleasure. She doesn't care if you're happy. When you're sitting there playing video games, she's going, how can I get this man to better serve me? How can I get him to work more and be ambitious so I have a better life? It's all about her. Well, once you show that you're able to be changed, she doubts your value again, because you show that you can be moved off center, and now you've changed for her. You've listened to her words, essentially, and desire drops anyways. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
Mm-hmm. All right, why am I throwing this one up here? I got another good one for you. Another reason why you should never be, like, when we talk about vulnerability, when guys like Baldoni talk about vulnerability, like, I think that's a strength. Okay, being vulnerable, let your hair down, be who you are, just be yourself, brah. No, you can't. You have to fight. You have to drive and drive and drive. You have to be, especially when we talk about how wealth enforces will. So if you're with a woman, it doesn't have to be Lily Phillips. Let's just say you're with a woman who's making a good chunk of change off of whatever it is she does. Instagram, FHM model, OnlyFans model, porn. I would never be with a girl like that. Yeah, well, let's just say for sake of argument, your woman makes more money than you. And this is going to be increasingly more likely in the future. So you're with a woman that makes more money than you, is better educated than you, has I'm a girl with standards, right? If that woman is making more money than you, I should point out that the number one catalyst for divorce, or the precipitator of divorce in the United States, is if a guy loses his job, or the woman makes more money than the husband. Like maybe they could start out at parity, right? And if that woman gets a promotion at work, status goes up, the people she is working with, authority, all this other stuff goes up, the prestige goes up, the money goes up. Primarily, the money goes up. That man is no longer the man of the house. That guy I don't care what your religious book says. I don't care what the Torah or the Bible or the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita. I don't care what the fuck book you have in your hands. That doesn't mean shit when the numbers in the bank account are more on her side than they are on your side. That's how this works. That's how this works out. Wealth enforces will, and it forces will within marriages, within businesses, within personal arrangements, within everything else. Money talks, bullshit walks. And so what happens is when that guy, when the woman starts making more money than the guy happens, then she gets up. She's just, you ain't shit. You don't do this. You don't make as much money. Because biologically, evolutionarily speaking, women want men who will take care of them. That's why this guy is right. Because when that guy is sitting there and he's relaxed, he might have had a hard day at work, right? There could be any number of reasons for this guy to want to be playing video games. Of course, you say video games, and then of course, I got to bring up Charlie Kirk and TPUSA, right? You're not allowed to have a video game until she's completely 100% taken care of. Well, that's an ideal situation, Charlie. But statistically speaking, that woman is going to at least make as much, if not more, than the husband does. So you're fucked. So the thing is it's not about your religious text. It's not about your traditional values. It's not about your traditional gender roles. It's about the fucking money. That's what it boils down to, because women in the long term are more concerned with long-term security and the long-term security of their offspring than they are about your dreams or ambitions to be whatever the fuck it is that you want to be. If you don't have the money, you want to know why women go for older guys, and they're looking for guys who are more financially set and everything, because they're not come-ups. They're already proven commodities, or they're not. Like when we talk about like what we were saying, like I think it was the GSS or it was a family study, IFS. It's IFS or GSS. I can't remember which study it was, but guys 18 to 29, 67% of them identified as single. And for women, it was something like 34 or 36% of them identified as single. So there are more women in that age cohort than men that are paired. So we've talked about this on Access Vegas. Mike and I have gotten into this. I don't think this is a surprise or a shock to anybody else, but those women between 18 and 29 years old are either fucking the same guy or they're fucking somebody outside of that age cohort, somebody 30 years and older. So anytime somebody says, oh, women aren't really attracted to guys who are older than them, bullshit. I got the stats to prove it right now. The more likely scenario is they're dating outside of that age cohort. So women between 18, I'm not saying 18-year-olds are fucking 30-year-olds. I'm just saying within that age cohort, women are more likely to be with a guy who is older. Why? Because that guy has more of what she needs, which is financial security primarily. And then that comes at a cost of emotional security and other things as well. Okay. So whenever we talk about, oh, love means this and love, like guys, as I keep saying, and by the way, this is in my first book, so don't let anybody tell you that they fucking thought of this, right? Men love idealistically. Women love opportunistically. And I can't express any better illustration than this shit right now. Finances, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes. Blue eyes. So they hit that chick up later and it says, do you really believe in that? No, I believe in love. Get the fuck out of here. Then why? But you did the whole fucking like song and everything, right? No, wealth enforces will. If you're not making more money than I'm not saying she has to, be some poor little destitute girl from the, motherland or some shit like that. I'm just saying, like, if you're not making more money than her, she will lose respect for you. Period. End of story. Was it Chris Rock? He says, if you lose your job, the clock is ticking. It's like, oh, don't worry, baby. We're going to get through this. It'll be all right. He's like, don't believe it. It's like, she might not leave you then, but the clock is ticking. Yes. And that's like I was saying before, no woman wants to get with a guy that other women don't want to get with. Well, who do they not want to get with? Broke motherfuckers. That's who they don't want to get with. Women marry a lifestyle. They do not marry the man. Women fall in, I'm not saying that love doesn't exist. Love absolutely exists, but we get to it from different avenues. Women have a specific set of criteria, prerequisites that a man has to have before she will allow herself to make an emotional connection to that guy. Guys, love just matters for the sake of love. Like that's why why guys fall in love quick, statistically proven. I think I'll dig the study out for this one. Men fall in love faster and say, I love you first, way more often than women do, because women are still looking for their next best option. You want to know why she still has an OnlyFans and she's been married to you for the last 5 years and she's still got an OnlyFans? Because she's waiting for some motherfucker who's got who's a better ride than you. Even if you're a good ride, you have to be on top of your game. You always have to be that one step ahead. You always have to have that status, that prestige, that money, as I was saying before. The minute you don't, the minute you can look in the mirror and be happy with what you see, you're fucking sunk. Now, why do I say that? I am going to, where did it go? Here we go. I don't know why this struck me, but this has 1.2 million engagement. It has, I'll just put this in a separate window. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'll put this in a separate window so we can look at it individualized. This is from Twitter. This was posted on January 8th, so about 4 days ago. And hold on. There we go. Perfect. All right. I wanted to, you want to know what inspired today's stream? This guy, Pine Baron. And he's got 30,000 followers. He's no lightweight. Where did it go? Okay. So put that there. Share my screen. Here we go. Okay. So this guy, and I thought this was interesting. Now, why am I putting, I was going to say, grow that out all the way here. Okay. I'm still laughing about the meme that women can't stand to see their man asleep in daytime. This is so fucking true, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, have you taken a nap?
Oh, yeah.
Because you have how long have you been with your girlfriend?
For like 5 years.
5 years. Does she get pissed off when you take a nap?
No.
No? Is she cool with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you have a much different experience than I do, my friend. Okay. They can't stand to see their man sleep in the daytime. It must be some deeply evolutionary thing. You could be a wilderness firefighter who just got off a 21-hour shift. And if you're napping at 2 p.m, your wife will lose her shit. This is true. Okay. And then I love the responses to this one. It's like, she'll wake you up in the most passive aggressive way, fling the bedroom door open, stomp in, start ransacking drawers. Sorry, I just need to dress because I'm taking the kids to the park by myself because I'm alone with the kids and somebody needs to spend time with them. I'm sorry, I'm so busy with the kids. This is my only chance to use my hairdryer. That sounds like a 737 taking off. Oh my God, that's fucking funny. Yeah. Girl I dated in college got mad at me for sleeping during her 1-hour driving shift of a 10-hour road trip. I drove the other 9. Oh, that's pretty fucking funny. Let's see. About the hairdryer, when I was renting a female roommate, for some reason, every fucking morning, she would use her hairdryer for like 4 minutes straight every fucking day at 7:00. Yep. I think there's a kernel of truth to this. I will relate some of my experiences here. A sleeping man ain't hunting. He ain't watching the perimeter. Definitely evolutionary. Unfortunately, she doesn't buy my pitch that tinkering with my gun is provided evolutionary male behavior, so I can hunt and defend the perimeter better. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to point that out because I thought this was interesting because, like, my wife's like that too. If I am in any way taking a nap or whatever, if I'm like, fuck, man, I'm so tired. Like, especially, I thought this was funny because, I love you, honey. But like, whenever I do Access Vegas, right, I don't get home until midnight, and I might go to bed at 1 a.m, right? Yep. So. But we have to walk the dog. We have to get up with the dogs at 6:30 every morning, right? Because the dogs have to be let out, blah, blah, blah. And then I might go snooze on the couch a little bit. Like, if it's Friday morning after a very late Access Vegas show, right? I no longer do that anymore. Because I agree, this is definitely evolutionary. And I don't think, like, the guy who was up before is talking about how you have to give up everything. And then once you do give up everything and you do everything that she wants you to do, that's when she loses respect for you. And she doesn't want, that's when she leaves you. Right. It seems like this paradox that you can't get out of, but it has like functional biological evolutionary roots to it, right? A sleeping man isn't out hunting. A sleeping guy is a liability, especially in the daytime, right? You're only supposed to sleep at these hours, and then of course what happens is they passive aggressively use the hairdryer or make a lot of noise or whatever it is so that you can't sleep, and because you're not allowed to do that, because that's and I think. Okay, this well, maybe it does have to do some with money, but I think it's more about, again, long-term security. If she gets, I'll tell you what's funny is when my wife is taking a nap at like 3:00 in the afternoon, I try to be quiet. Like, oh, keep the dogs. Shh, keep it down. No, we're not going outside yet. Try to make sure the house is like nice and quiet so she gets a little bit of a nap, right? But like, God forbid I try to do
Hands are banging.
Fuck that. Unless I'm sick, unless I'm like dying of like the plague or something like that, there's no sleeping during the daytime. But I've learned that now. And that's just something that I kind of like factor in, because that is vulnerability. Vulnerability is people want to say, oh, vulnerability, you got to be vulnerable with your girl, for your wife, or whatever it is. Okay, the thing is like the moment you are is the moment she starts losing respect for you, is the moment she feels insecure, because your vulnerability is a fucking liability to her. Your vulnerability of sleeping in the daytime, taking a nap at 2, that's vulnerability, because you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to be out there fucking killing saber-toothed tigers. That's what you're supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be making money. Anything that is not, like, we talk about hobbies once in a while, right? Mm-hmm. And it was on Twitter not too long ago, probably about a month or 2 ago. We're saying, what are the most attractive male hobbies and what are the least attractive male hobbies? Number 3 is collecting small figurines. I guess I'm fucked. I had a caveat to put to that too, but if you notice and I've written about hobbies, like I've written like at least 3 essays about how women view men's hobbies. Like the first one was I had guys who, especially in my gaming communities, like I play war games and stuff, and I've had guys who are like, they follow me as Rollo Tomasi. They know me as Rollo, not as the dork who plays Warhammer, right? And they'll say, Rollo, my wife hates my hobbies. She hates Warhammer. She hates this. She hates that. She wants me to sell all my miniatures. I said, the moment you do that, you're fucked. You know that, right? Because you're trying to identify with her. You're trying to say, yeah, you know what? I should do that because it'll be much more mature for me to give up my love of this hobby that I've loved since I was, 12 years old or whatever. It's time to give it up. I'm trying to put away childish things and everything else. It's like, I will tell you this right now, that this hobby has like saved my life more than once. But unless that hobby, and this is more to this guy's point, unless that hobby has a direct benefit to that woman, those are the hobbies that are going to be an ick, right? If your hobby is playing video games, like women say, well, I kind of like video games, but just not that he's playing it all the time, right? Playing, I forget what they were all ick factor hobbies, right? But you'll notice that all of the ones that are listed that women hate are ones that have no direct benefit, no like even tangential benefit to women. But if your hobby is, I like to play pick up basketball games after work with the guys at the YMCA or some shit like that, then that's okay because you're looking better and you're in shape. Well, my hobby is to go to the gym and lift heavy weights. That's okay. Especially if it's a sport. If it's a sport that's kind of like a prestigious sport, if it's like, and it doesn't have to be, you don't have to play it on the professional level, but maybe golf. Maybe golf isn't something that most women take on. But at least it's something, right? Anything that has a direct or indirect benefit to that woman, that's an approved hobby. If there's no direct link, no indirect link to her benefit, those are nerd hobbies. Those are things you should not be doing. And why? Because because the time that you spend on them have no indirect or direct benefit to her. That's why that guy was saying, she wants you to give up all this stuff. And as soon as you do, then she loses respect for you because you're the kind of guy who would give it up. You have no identity. You're basically pandering to her and it's contrived. it's not an honest thing. You're just doing that for me. Well, you asked me, right? Yeah. Well, you're fucking insane. Yeah, I know. There's no rationality to it. There's no logic to it. But that's that if you want the real deal, and it comes back down. I started thinking about this after I was reading the gold is in the comments on this, by the way, for Pimer, because like people were giving like all of their kind of their situations and everything. It was just so fucking funny. What was it? Trying to look at some of these other ones. If I can find some other ones that are in here that are pretty good. Yeah. I think the other thing is like it also this thread, by the way, and like I said before, let me look at the stats on the thread. The thread's at 3,000 people have bookmarked it. It's at 1.2 million views. It's got 24,000 likes. Been retweeted 893 times, and there's 422 comments on it. So obviously, this resonated with some people. I would say it's 1 million views, so it's viral. So, so something's going on here.